Bigfoot Collectors Club with Michael and Riley. I know a story of high strangeness or two. Let's do this.
It's imposing to start a show with crickets. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're like, clearly there's nobody in the audience for this one until you're listening to it at home. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bigfoot Collectors Club, the show where we talk to amazing guests about their personal paranormal history and share stories of high strangeness. I'm your host, Michael McMillian, and with me always is the transcendent virtuoso Pleiadian.
Wow. Riley Bray, good one.
Hey, yeah, that was submitted on the BCC Discord by Weird Marl.
I'll take it. Thanks,
who
Weird.
Also trolled me pretty hard on the Discord because I'm going to just, we'll bring in our guest in a second, but I don't want to pretend he's not sitting here. We were actually at a haunted hotel a few weeks ago, and our buddy Steve Berg thought maybe he got orbs. We were like, maybe it's dust. And the Marl was like, that's dust. And I was like, oh, where did you get your dustology degree? And then she made a dustology degree and printed it on the Discord just to troll me. So there you go.
There you go.
Congrats on your degree.
Got one up by a dustologist.
Quick club housekeeping. Starting this week, we have a brand new old piece of merch coming back to the shop. It is the Little Friends of Printmaking old school BCC logo. A lot of requests for that. I'm going to come back. Some newer listeners who never got it back in the day. So that's going to be up there. Link in the show notes. So that's all. Let's get to the reason that we're here. Mm-hmm. Our guest this week is a television writer who has worked on some classic shows like Rick and Morty, Archer, Community. He's the creator of a hilarious new animated series dropping this Friday, as you're listening to the show, so that's Friday the 19th, I believe, of 19th. September, on Netflix and Club Scouts. It's called Haunted Hotel.
Woo!
Come on, you're going to want to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, Club Scouts of all timelines, please welcome to the clubhouse, Matt Roller. Matt, thank you for being here, my friend.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here. I'll also add, I've written many unproduced screenplays.
Yes.
Many things that did not get made.
Many classic, unmade, underdeveloped, overdeveloped, forgotten.
Animation, sequels, all sorts of fun things.
Yeah. That's all the stuff that I've ever written. Out of the few things that I've written, nobody's seen them yet.
I think I can say this because it's got to be fully dead, but I wrote, not my idea, but was brought in to develop it. It was a haunted hotel comedy around NBA All-Star Weekend at the Skirvin Hotel, which is famously a haunted hotel.
Oh my God.
And they were going to incorporate a lot of real NBA players into it, and like the TNT crew, and everything about it was like a little fraught and challenging to execute, but it had a great title, Jump Scare. It's good. It's a good title.
Yeah,
everything else about it.
Sold in the room, though.
Right?
I'm sure.
Not my title either. I just that sold me on working on it. Like, oh, that's cool.
I'm in.
It sounds very Harlem Globetrotters meet Scooby-Doo in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, it was.
Well, tell us about Haunted Hotel. Now, I've had the privilege of seeing the first couple episodes. Got a little sneak peek, and I got to say, this is tailor-made for our audience. Lots of I appreciate already this far into the series how many little winks to the lore and to things that are fun, unused concepts for the Haunted Mansion becoming characters in this show with the Candleman and stuff like that. So there's lots of really cool nods to not just paranormal stuff, but other haunted things as well. It's a great show. But tell us about it. Let everybody know what it is, and tell us about your inspiration. Why did you end up writing this show, coming up with the show?
Yeah, I mean, to give you the context up top, what is this show? It's an adult animated comedy. I'd put it somewhere between Bob's Burgers and Rick and Morty. And it's about a family trying to run a haunted, but also possessed and cursed and monster-stalked and unsuccessful hotel. It's kind of a catch-all. Like haunted is a misnomer because the point of this show, as kind of like a comedy and story vehicle, was to be able to mine any horror we wanted. And I say to like broader non-horror audiences, because I don't want to scare them off, it's not a horror comedy. It's a comedy about horror. So it's definitely like it's comedy first. It's kind of, if you wanted to be super simplistic, it would be like plopping the Bob's Burgers family into like a haunted hotel. That's kind of the general vibe of it. But we really lean into our influences. You know, there are episodes with exorcist and possession. There are cults. There are gremlin adjacent things. I'd say with everything, like we're not going one-to-one. We're not going for like a Family Guy parody of the thing. We're going for more an earnest embrace of the type of thing.
Awesome.
And you haven't gotten to it yet. I think it's the next episode. They got a little bit reshuffled post-production. But we do a slasher episode. And it's very much inspired by, you know, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and a bunch of others. And it was fun to do our own version that's kind of a comedy, but also embraces it is a real killer. He is trying to kill them in this hotel.
That's great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And what else can I say? Oh, well, I'll give you two things. One is the cast. It's Will
Great
Forte.
cast.
Will Forte is great. Eliza Coupe, who was on Happy Endings and a bunch of other stuff. Jimmy Simpson from Westworld, also a McPoyle in Always Sunny. Skylar Gisondo, just in Superman, and Natalie Palamides, who has been in a bunch of stuff. And you've definitely seen her in progressive commercials.
Yes,
that's where I've seen her the most, honestly. But
Like,
she's so talented. Has a great show on Netflix that she does. Nate, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to say, because fun to talk about with you guys. The show is jammed with Easter eggs, and it was just because, like, we can, you know? And some of them are obvious in terms of, like, shot choices. We do a very obvious, like, here's Benny with, like, you know, and then he pokes his head through the door that he chopped a hole in with a skate. That's, like, the low-hanging fruit, obvious one.
Sure.
But in terms of populating the hotel, you know, we got to fill this thing with chairs and art and wallpaper. And at every step, I was like, well, let's pull something from a movie. So you can see it in the trailer right now, but like the wooden chairs in the kitchen are modeled after the chairs from Poltergeist. They get stacked on the table.
Oh, totally.
It's the exact same chairs. And you don't need to know that to watch the show, but
Sure.
It's full of stuff like that. We took the wallpaper from Hereditary and made it into a carpet. Again, I'm not saying it's iconic wallpaper, but it's distinct if you were watching Hereditary. It's not one I expect people to catch, but we took the doc from Friday the 13th. We took
I love this.
What's the Ty West one where it's the woman thinks she's babysitting someone. And
it's not Night of the Devil. It's God damn it! I know the name.
I always forget the name. But that old couple lives in, you know, a nice old house with a lot of antique furniture.
Is it House of the Devil? Is that what it's called? The House of the Devil.
House of the Devil. Yeah. One of the couches that just has like a kind of nice curve to it, and we had to fill this hotel with couches, and well, let's use that couch.
So is there like a day when you guys are like, let's just pull up any visual reference and put it from the, you know, like how does that work in the room, or how does that work in production where you're just like, okay, let's make sure we've got all this stuff that we found?
You start with a foundation of that, because kind of in tandem with writing every episode after the pilot, like while the room is going, the visual development is happening at the same time, at least for a season 1 show. So we're figuring out what is the style of the show, and then within that style, what does everything look like? And so as we were going into that, I was rewatching all my favorite horror movies and just like
so cool,
taking screenshots of like, oh, that's a pretty distinct lamp. That's interesting wallpaper. I love The Orphanage, Bayona, you know, and there's a really distinct piece of stained glass above the door that is not really important to the movie at all, but I've noticed it in the past, and so I crammed that in there.
So cool.
So most of it's foundational, and then you find other opportunities as you go along. Like there was a point where the characters run into an old woodshed out back, and we needed to populate the shed. And we've got artists who like, they just do that sort of thing. And this would happen in any show. You'd just be like, interior garden shed, and they would put the stuff that should go in that shed. Mm-hmm. And when I saw their first sketch of that, I was thinking, oh, there'd be a lot of cool garden tools in here. We could put a bunch of like iconic horror weapons.
Yeah, like Freddy's glove and that kind of stuff. Got to, you know, all those sorts of things.
And it was a cool place to put the ones that are not really iconic on their own, like Annie from Misery, like her sledgehammer. It's just a sledgehammer. Like you wouldn't recognize it in a vacuum. But if you put the sledgehammer next to a scythe, next to a machete, next to like all those tools that like maybe on their own don't read, but all together you're like, oh, the tools of like 10 different murderers are just the background of this shed. And it's so not part of the plot. It's just a fun little detail.
It's like a richly layered croissant. It's just like every little...
Totally. I hope so.
I love, too, there's just also like pause moments in the show that I love. Like there will be like quick pans upstairs and you'll pass through the floorboards and you'll be like, wait, there's a little creature there. I got to stop and see what creature's in there. You know, like at one point I think I saw the like Beetlejuice snake go by. You know, there's like little things where you're like, oh, I'm gonna they're not coming back to this shot. So if I don't pause now and catch it, I'm gonna miss what this thing is. So it's really fun.
And that's what's great with animation, because you don't, you know, I could say it was my plan all along, but a lot of those things, like, you know, in script, we're like, and then we rise up to the attic from the shot in the lobby and we go through a few rooms. And once we see that shot, we realize like it's a little bit boring just because of, you know, how long it takes to rise up. Like, what else can we cram in there? Right. And that's where like, well, space between the floors comes in, for example. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff like that where we get so many bites at the apple in animation with each stage of development that you could just keep on putting new things in.
It's so cool. It's really fun. I really think everyone's gonna dig it. And I know I saw on the later in the season, there's also like, of course, the paranormal investigation team that comes into a TV show there. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to to
Drew
that
Tarver
one.
And Carl Tarver.
Oh. Drew Tarver, other two, one of my favorite shows. We were just talking about the other two, weren't we, Riley?
So
one of my favorite shows.
It's hilarious.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna talk more about haunted hotels in this episode and more things that have actually already in the first episode shown up on the series. But before we do that, Matt, every now and then we like to check in with like UFO, paranormal, and cryptid related news. And we have a quick update today. But Riley, get ready, because I do have some. BCC news. I don't know if you gentlemen were aware. You've got.
I love watching your face on that.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's your headphones. It's like, what are they doing?
It's embarrassing to do in front of strangers. You know, mostly strangers who write very funny things.
No, it's great.
I don't know if either one of you guys were paying attention yesterday. There's a lot going on. Also, Matt, you have babies and a TV show launching this week. But UFOs were back in Congress yesterday. The House Oversight Committee were talking to UAP witnesses. I think there were 4 people in total. There was a guy whose name I'm blanking on right now. This is how well I've done my research, but he's former military guy who's like talked about seeing a giant triangular craft that interfered with like his vehicle's instruments, and he watched it like shoot off to commercial airline like altitude in a blink of an eye. So there's some really good eyewitness testimony you'll probably have already seen at this point if you're poking around Instagram. But one of the big videos that came out, one of the big pieces, is a new UAP video, one of those black and white military targeting videos of what looks to be like an orb flying over the ocean. I sent it to both of you guys. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out
right now. Yeah,
we'll put it up in the YouTube and in the show notes as well. But this orb apparently gets fired upon by a missile and just basically keeps flying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a missile that's striking it.
Yeah, a missile is striking it. It is, I believe,
it's a Hellfire missile.
Yeah.
I watched the full clip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's a
No hellfire when I see
MQ-9
one.
Reaper allegedly tracking orb off the coast of Yemen. Green light given to engage missile appears to be ineffective against the target. It's just another one of these, like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
And
weird. Yeah.
everybody
I
was
love it.
basically testifying, like, this is a problem, you know? Like, our weapons are ineffective against
Missiles
whatever
bounce
this
off them.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the congresswoman asked her final question, I believe, was like, "Does this video scare you? Yes or no?" And went down the line of all these guys, and they all said yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
George Knapp was there too. George Knapp was providing his expertise. I reached out to Jeremy
Congress.
Corbell before we recorded because I'm not sure if this video came through Jeremy and George or not, but it was leaked by a whistleblower. That's all I know. So, Matt, are you following this stuff? Are you into the UFO UAP thing? Is this pique your interest?
I'm very into it. Whenever that big New York Times piece dropped, it feels like a year or two ago.
Yeah, it was more than that. It's 2017 now. It was right
Oh,
when we
man.
started the
Time has
podcast.
Oh man, What is
Feels
time?
like 2 years, but
Okay. Yes. I remember when it came out, and it was a real existential crisis day for me where I was just fully in, like, oh man, there's something here and it's visiting us.
really, were you before then? Were you like open to the idea of UFO, or were you just primarily skeptical?
I think I was open to the idea of life, but kind of bought into the, like, well, it would be very hard for them to get here, you know, faster than light travel. We don't know how to do it. And I kind of accepted that, like, yeah, maybe we'll find signs of life via telescope somewhere else. And that's why I was so rocked by this. Like, there's something physically there. And yeah, these military men don't know what they're looking at. These people
And
who are
are
trained
afraid
to know
of
what
it.
they're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
do you
there's
think?
video.
Do you think then that are you pretty much in the camp that this has got to be extraterrestrial?
I'm somewhere between extraterrestrial and the much broader we live in a simulation.
Yeah.
But if we embrace the extraterrestrial of it all, yeah. And I kind of think this stuff has probably been there the whole time, and we just only recently covered the world with cameras. And that's kind of why it's becoming more prevalent.
You know, and just adding more and more cameras as we go
Yeah,
along.
just keep
too.
on adding them. Yeah.
What do you think of that footage, Riley? What is this? Does this?
I mean, aesthetically, I love it. It looks like something that would be projected while like a goth band is playing or something.
Totally.
But it is scary to think that of the context of what it is, of these people saying like, yeah, we shot a literal missile at this, and it like Wile E. Coyote bounces off of this thing. It's
And it's recent.
Pretty
It's
wild.
2024, I believe the video's from. It's not like, you know, the Tic Tac UFO on the Nimitz, USS Nimitz. That was over 20 years old now. This is like a newer video.
It is. I'm like just rewatching the missile hit. It kind of just like boink, like it like
ricochets
reacts,
off.
and then it's just sort of fine again.
My question on this
Weird.
one is why we shot it. We don't know what this is. Like,
You know
it's
what?
not over.
Yeah.
It's not over Boston. It's it's like in the water over Yemen. Why are we shooting it?
I know. I want to
That's
be
a
like,
really good point. Yeah, we just all
behalf-
just casually accepted, like, oh yeah, of course they shot a missile at it.
On behalf of the people of Earth, please,
you know, it's like, why are you picking fights with these guys?
Yeah.
In every like
Good
Independence
point.
Day style movie, like, you know, the first act is a huge conversation about like, we can't shoot at them, like it could cause an incident. And in real life, it goes without saying, like, well, of course we shot it.
Oh my God.
We have all these missiles. What are we not?
What
gonna
else
shoot
are we
it?
gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, this is why we're here, right, everybody? Come on.
Oh man.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to get more into Matt's personal paranormal history and just find out more what he thinks and feels about the phenomenon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Matt, we ask every guest, what's your personal paranormal history? Now, you were a guy who 2017 came along, you're like, okay, great. Now I gotta bring aliens into my life now.
Yeah.
What about the other stuff? What about ghosts and those things? You know, you're obviously writing about them now. Was this something that you were always interested in?
Uh, on a just personal horror level, not as a kid. No, I was a coward. I saw, and weirdly, I haven't seen it since, so I'm not sure which one, but I saw one of the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels as a 10-year-old. I walked in on my dad watching it, and it was a part where someone was getting their chest ripped open. And I'd seen nothing even close to that as a 10-year-old. Like it was 0 to 80 in terms of just like my worldview of what can happen to a person.
And was your dad like laughing really loudly as he watched it? Was he like really having fun with it, or was he like,
no, wasn't even aware. This was a real like I was walking through the kitchen to get water or something. I definitely was not sitting down to watch it with him. It was one of those I saw it on my way through the room. And that kept me away from horror for a good 15 years. Because, it got me through my teens with like, it's not my genre. I don't care. And then I just kind of lost track of it. But came back to it in a big way in my 20s and just,
Same way. I was exactly the same way. Too scared to watch as a kid. Dabbled a little bit in college. And then after college, I was like, I got to see what all this stuff is about. And then became like a big horror nut.
Yeah. On a personal level, in terms of, ghosts, I've had 3 encounters.
Whoa!
All right.
Yeah.
Serving on up.
Yeah, let's
Come
get into
on.
it. Yeah.
Make us some pancakes here, Matt.
The thing I'll say up top, hard to say, like, in, this, like, podcast, people haven't heard from me context, but I'm pretty logical. I'm the logical friend, so it alarms people I know when I say, "Yeah, I've seen a ghost, and here's how it works." It's not something you want to hear from me. But
that's who I want to hear.
That's who I want to hear from the most.
Yeah.
But I've seen things, and I can't explain what I saw. And you probably have more information on this than I do. But they took different forms. That's what was interesting for me. The first encounter was some 10 years ago. And my wife and I were on vacation in New Orleans, and we were in the Omni, it might be called the Omni Royale, the Omni Hotel there, which is known to be haunted, but we didn't really stay there because of that. And so our first night in this room, I get up middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I mention that detail because I wasn't drowsy. I was fully awake. I went to the bathroom, lights on, went back to bed, and lights are off, except for like a small like nightlight thing in the bathroom that remained on. And when I sit down in bed, I see at the foot of the bed and another like 5 feet beyond against the wall, this like 3-dimensional shadow. And it's just standing there, and it had roughly the shape of a human. Like I could kind of make out the sense of arms and legs, but it wasn't like they were out. They were like against the body.
Okay.
And I was awake enough to wonder like, what is throwing a shadow here? And I'm looking around the room for like, is there a lamp? And like, there's nothing. The curtains are drawn. There's nothing that could be throwing a shadow. So I shine my phone flashlight on it, and it goes away. Nothing there. But when I put the flashlight down, it's back, and it starts drifting toward the bed.
Whoa!
Yeah.
No,
so at that point,
thanks.
Again, I'm like, what is this? Wife is sleeping next to me. I shine the light again, it disappears, and when I put the light down, it's back where it was, and then starts drifting toward the bed again.
Oh my!
And at that point, this is where there's like just an extra level of I don't know what's going on. I start looking around the room again for other sources of light, and I see up above the curtains, above where my eye line had been the last time, this other shadow that like. Only way I can explain is that it looked like a kind of golem-y, like crouched shadow that was somehow it doesn't make geometric sense, but like standing on the curtain rod, that was kind of like what it appeared to be doing.
Yeah.
And as much as the first shadow was odd, the second shadow read malevolent. And that it's so strange to say, but I felt a really distinct, even though they kind of looked the same, this is a bad shadow. I shouldn't look at this one. And I don't know if there was a relationship between the two.
Ooh, I don't like this at all.
But yeah, the first shadow, once it got to the foot of the bed, it stopped. And I could kind of, if I moved my head, I could see behind it, it was presenting like something kind of opaque.
It's like a three-dimensional.
Yeah, it had form in the room.
Yeah.
Form.
You could go around it. Yeah.
And at that point, because it's like 3 a.m. or something, for lack of like anything else to do, like we're not going to change rooms. I just said out loud, "Okay," and went back to bed.
Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't believe they can read our mind.
You're letting them know. I've seen you. I see your little bit. The light is very good. Okay.
I understand it's your room.
Cute. It's cute. Cute what you're doing here.
Real
I'm only here
stuff.
tonight. We'll be gone.
Did you have to bring out the golem? Is that you had to do that? I'm gone, but I have to check out. Late checkout's 11 a.m. I will not be here very long.
Bother the next guy. Yeah.
Did your
you
wife
go back to sleep? How do you?
So the next day was her birthday. I didn't wake her up when it happened.
Can't.
And so, the weird detail of this, she really wanted to see a ghost. And part of coming to New Orleans, we did ghost tours and, all the hokey stuff.
You got to. You're in New
fun.
Orleans.
She was hoping to see a ghost. And so the next day, after we left the room, just, to be out of the space, I said, I saw a ghost last night, and expected her to be kind of like, really? Like, why didn't you wake me? And instead her face kind of fell and she went, what? What do you mean? And it was what I was talking about, where like, I'm not a person you expect to say, I saw a ghost.
Right.
And it kind of wrecked her day. She was very upset, just like, and frightened at the idea. And we were there one more night, actually, and we slept with the lights on.
No. Yeah, no. I'd be like, can we get a different room?
Yeah, the malevolent crouched curtain rod figure is...
I know. I tried just not to think about
disconcerting.
it. Because nothing was moving in the room. There weren't other things going on. So
right.
I took it as an ongoing dispute between those two, and it's not my problem.
This has nothing to do with me. I'm just...
I'm sure you'll be back at it when I'm gone. So,
did you ever check out any of the history of the hauntings there?
We tried to a little bit, and like you get so lost, especially in New Orleans hotels. There's a lot of tourism based stuff. Sure. Like, it's a very haunted hotel. It has a history of blah blah. So it's hard to parse specifics as opposed to like some small town hotel where like, a guy died here. He was dragged by his horse. Right. There's so many things that could happen. We did ask the front desk people, like, is that hotel or is that room known for anything? And they did not play into it. They did not seem interested in our question, and just said,
"Oh
no,
God, not another."
Yeah, I think they thought we were fishing. Yeah,
right.
Lots of disembodied laughter, moaning.
Yes.
There's a spirit of a helpful maid who wanders the halls at night. I don't think you ran into her.
No,
doesn't sound like a helpful maid.
In a room.
No.
Yeah.
And one tenant even recalled waking to find her ghostly apparition attempting to change the sheets of their bed while they were still in it.
Oh, well, maybe we were getting to that. Maybe approaching the bed. Maybe that's
yeah. Maybe building up to that. So that's just one of your encounters.
That's one. That's, I thought, the spookiest one.
Man, that is
it's pretty spooky,
freaky.
Yeah.
I had another one a little more recently that was in this house that we were renting in Sherman Oaks. That it was this old farmhouse that it looked very out of place in the neighborhood and was built in 1900 and had been owned basically by one family the whole time. Like, we were renting from a guy who grew up there, and his mom had lived there most of her life as well. And we found out, I don't know order of events on this story. Okay, I'll save that part. So when we move in, I always felt at the top of the stairs, 2-story, like kind of farmhouse, just looked like like the Conjuring house kind of. It, not as big, but that kind of deal.
Got it.
I always felt an odd kind of just energy at the top of the stairs, right outside the master bedroom. And the pets seemed to as well. We had a dog and a cat, and they both spent a lot of time there. which was odd because we'd had stairs in other houses and they didn't do that, but they were both always posted up there.
Like doing the staring into space kind of thing?
Yeah. The cat especially, and the dog just seemed anxious and would just sit and then stand and sit and stand.
Oof.
And so finally, knowing that my wife got alarmed by, the New Orleans thing, about a weekend when she wasn't home, I stood in that spot and I just kind of said, I couldn't tell you word for word what I said, but just out loud to the house around me, hey, we live here now. I understand if you used to live here, if you're still here too, and I think that's great. And, we're going to try to take good care of the house. It was just something like that. Something like, we will be good stewards of this place, and it's fine that you're here for us because you were here first. And about 15 seconds after I said that, enough time for me to stand, nothing happens, go down the stairs. I hear a bang upstairs, and I go up into the bathroom, and a window that had been propped open with a dowel because it was a really old window that the springs in it were worn out and it wouldn't stand up on its own, been propped open the whole week we had been there. And before that, since we checked it, had slammed shut.
Whoa.
So that was, I felt like an acknowledgement of I hear you.
100%.
And also, don't prop my windows open. That's not how we do it here.
This should be closed.
This is not a proper use of a towel.
And the more visual coda of that story was a few days after that. I was in bed, woke up in the morning, and I saw an old woman. And this was not like a 3-dimensional shadow. It was just kind of there was color to it. I could tell, oh, that's an old woman. Sitting facing the other way at the foot of our bed. And I saw her for a good 5 seconds, and then I turned to my wife, and when I turned back, the woman was gone. And after that, I didn't feel the same thing at the top of the stairs anymore, and the pets stopped sitting there too.
Whoa.
So the piece of information we got after that, because this isn't something you ask when you move into a house, I mean, most of the time anyway, we asked, has anyone died here? And the former renters who we knew told us that, the owner, the landlord, his mom died there. Just of old age. So I think that was mom coming to check on the house and
check on the new tenant
and
see who's here.
Yeah.
And maybe feeling like she's got to hold on to it. Maybe, because when you think about it, the going upstairs, that's the more personal part of the house, so maybe that there was sort of a almost standing guard in a way, at the top of the stairs, this is where my space starts, totally. Up here. So that is a really...
But then sitting at the end of the bed, but sitting
goosebumps.
away, and it almost feels like an acknowledgement of all right, you're okay. Let's not do that with the window, but you can stay here. Kind of.
It's weird because it sounds like a startling image, but in the moment, I perceived as it's not like there's a person in our house. I perceived it as a ghost, and it didn't feel scary. It felt surprising. And then it was gone, and that was it. And it to me, it kind of felt like an acknowledgement.
Yeah,
100%. And what did your wife say when you told her about that one?
I didn't tell her about any of that until we moved.
Really? Whoa!
Several years later, I told her, by the way, I think the ghost of the owner sat at the foot of our bed once.
I wouldn't have lasted several minutes. I've been wake up, wake up, wake up.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was worth it. Yeah, it was.
And that's just so you didn't want her to be concerned in the house while you were there, or
yeah. I don't know if I'm policing ghosts here, but I was kind of basing it off of how much the New Orleans thing seemed to wreck her, and I felt like this was a good interaction, and she was gone now, and my wife may not have the gift. And she wouldn't understand. She wouldn't understand the interaction.
Oh my God. I love this. This is so great that you're just going to keep this between me and the old lady.
Hang on to that for a bit.
What was her reaction when you finally told her?
Annoyance. She was annoyed that I hadn't told her. And like you're saying, surprised I kept it to myself for
Impressive,
years.
really. Yeah. It was like, I'm
Man.
just gonna bury that deep down. And
He's the
never
logic
speak of
guy,
it.
and he's the secret guy, everybody. If you got a
Yeah.
secret you
Yeah.
want to tell,
Good guy to
Matt's going to
know.
keep it for you.
I'll keep a secret. Yeah.
We have to break, but when we come back, we're going to get the
Number three.
third story from number
Yeah.
3 from
Okay.
Matt. Everyone, hang tight for number 3. Okay, we're back, Matt. Matt is just locked and loaded with stories. Ghost encounter number 3, and I'm gonna say this now, Matt. It's not your last one. There's gonna be a 4, 5, and 6 at the very least.
I haven't seen one since kids. And I wonder if I'm just like more mentally distracted, that I'm not open to that stuff. But yeah, it's never when you expect it. It's never like I'm chasing it, but
Exactly.
Right. Sure.
That's actually when you're not going to find it most of the time is when you're actually looking for it.
Yeah. Okay, so this one, it's not a save the best for last scenario. It's kind of the vaguest where like maybe this wasn't a ghost. I'm not sure, but it was very odd.
Okay.
So I was working on the show Community, and we were working on the Paramount lot on the weekend because that show worked weekends.
Right.
And the Paramount lot is right up against the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. And don't quote me. I feel like I have a memory that it's one of the older lots, but like a lot of
I think
kid
it
actors
is.
worked there.
No, I think it is one of the older lots as well. Yeah.
Well, I know there are a lot of sad stories about kid actors at that lot.
Really?
Right.
And so we, side note, on our own, because we were sometimes there very late at night waiting for like a script to be finished or something we had to turn in. We would go on little like ghost hunts on our own, like just go into the back lot and go into old buildings and old sets.
So
and
fun.
That's so
Try
cool.
to
Yeah.
find something.
Yeah.
But this particular day, it was just midday. It was like 1 p.m. We'd had lunch, and a few of us were sitting at a table on the second floor of this office building that looked out on some of the other stages and some other like old office buildings. And I'm looking out the window, and I see a little boy's face, like a gray little boy's face, looking through a window, kind of catty corner to me, like across, not directly across the way, but a little bit down. And both the look of the face and the placement was odd. It was in one of those, I don't even know what you call it, like lattice windows, where it has like the grids on it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I mentioned that because the boy's face wasn't like, it didn't look like a boy who was standing. Like he wasn't like in the middle part or upper part of the window, like would make sense for a human body. He was
Right.
perfectly centered in the lowest center grid. And it was odd enough. And this is what makes me think it was something like I felt something when I saw it. And you see stuff outside the window all the time. Like, oh, there's a cool bird there. You don't think to like stop the room you're in to like look at that bird. But like I was frozen staring at this little boy's face, and I said to the room, like, I think there's a boy in that window. Like I couldn't help but say it because there was something just so odd about like the energy of it, what I was looking at. And as people turned to look, it kind of as if he was in like a roller chair. And this is why, like, well, maybe it was just a little boy in a roller chair, but it didn't feel like that. The face
Yeah.
just kind of gently like rolled away and out of frame, and it kind of like faded into the darkness of the room at the same time that it did this.
This is
And then it was
giving
just
me
gone.
the worst goosebumps I've ever had in my life. That's the scariest one as far as I'm concerned, Matt.
And
Yeah.
I don't remember any more the details, but we looked up that room because like all those buildings have history, and it's all pretty well noted. And like there were some child deaths on the lot, and they may have worked at the soundstage like right next to there.
Yeah.
Did
Did it feel like?
So-
Did you feel like this face was looking at you specifically? Like, did you see the eyes?
Because
a
again,
sense
it was
of,
this was a Saturday on the lot. There's like no one else working, like the ground, the street below us, no one on it. We were the only ones in the building. And yeah, it looked like this boy was just like looking at me, and I felt compelled to say something, like it was like borderline entranced by what I was looking at.
right.
And then it was
Wow.
gone.
This is reminding me so much, Riley, of my Lois Gurno story. I saw a little girl at I went to this school, Interlochen Arts Academy, up in the woods in Michigan. We had an old theater there, and we knew this ghost haunted, but I'd never seen anything. All the kids had like, stories or spooky things. This thing moved and this thing happened, but I saw her sitting at a window with a friend, and it was a similar situation where she was in the inside of the building looking out, and pale-skinned, like she looked like a Polaroid picture coming into focus. And then it was like a real pale gray little girl. I could see the white of her eyes. I could see her hair parted and braided into pigtails. And then it was a thing where like me and my friend saw it, got scared, turned around, and she was just gone. So I never saw her dissipate or evaporate or roll away, but it's very similar to what you're describing.
That's totally the vibe. And what I think is so strange with like my 3 encounters that I can't account for is like they all took different forms. You know, what one 3-dimensional shadow, one like basically kind of a person with color, and then this like gray figure, and I don't know what causes that.
Was it gray, like sort of like black and white film gray? Is that what you're describing when you say gray?
Close to that. Not that dramatically that, but kind of ashen, like a very pale, and definitely kind of affected by, if a room with no lights on during the day, it just looks black inside. You can't really see inside. So it was kind of affected by that lighting. I think it was just not well lit.
Right.
But yeah, borderline black and white.
So what does you're like a logical rationalist, like but you've also had these experiences. Like what does your rational logical brain say about this?
I haven't tried to put that much thought into it, except to accept that there are things that can happen after this.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And maybe there's a lot of things that can happen. That's kind of where I'm shaking out, like there's,
and that's
it's
one option maybe.
Yeah. Like it's not a, stay here or go on. Maybe there's a few different versions of staying here, based off of your fixations, or I'm not totally sure I believe in the idea of unfinished business. That feels like kind of a story thing that we made.
Yeah.
But a fixation, which I guess is kind of close to the same thing, makes sense. People are obsessed with things in life, so I would buy them getting hooked to those things in death.
Yeah, or just feeling... I kind of like the idea, and maybe this is story again, too, of like, there's sort of the idea of like, well... Some people were so, religion is such a thing hammered in, especially in the past. It's a, predominant role, especially when we're going back to like the 1700s in England and stuff, that there's that fear of like continuing on because you're scared of where you're going to go. So you stay, instead of walking through the light, you stay here because you'd rather be here than in hell. You know what I mean? If that's where you're going to end up. So...
Charlie does that, and all dogs go to heaven.
That's right. Charlie
he doesn't want to go.
He doesn't want to go.
That's a very good point.
Everything I ever needed to know, I learned from All Dogs Go to Heaven.
I mean, not wrong.
Okay, we have a game. By the way, that the visual in my head from that little boy looking in the window, like, truly sent shivers up and down my spine like 4 times during that story, and I am never going to... I have such a creepy image in my head, it's never going to go away. So thank you for that.
The slow
I had to watch that and then go back to like, all right, now let's tell some jokes.
Yeah. So we're doing a multiverse one in this episode. What are we doing? So I'm going to go down a list of phenomena. If you... Rapid fire style. Now, there's no room now for ambiguity. If you're open to it, you say, believe it. If you're not open to it, you're going to say bullshit. This is a game that we call bullshit
or believe it.
Okay. Matt Roller, on your mark, get set, ghosts.
Believe it.
Bigfoot.
Bullshit.
UFOs.
Believe it.
Mothman.
Believe it.
ESP.
Believe it.
Chupacabra.
Believe it.
The Abominable Snowman.
Bullshit.
Ouija boards.
Bullshit.
The Loveland Frogman.
Believe it. Not sure. Not sure.
Ah, yes.
Pass.
No, you said believe it. The Hopkinsville Goblins.
Bullshit.
Skunk Ape.
Believe it.
Hollow Earth.
Bullshit.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Been there. Bullshit.
Crystal Balls.
Bullshit.
The Beast of Busco, which, if you're not familiar, is a very large turtle.
Oh, then believe it.
Out of Body Experiences.
Believe it.
The Michigan Dog Man.
I want to believe it.
Tarot Cards.
Bullshit.
Wendigos.
Believe it.
I thought I spotted a Wendigo in your show. Life on Other Planets.
Believe it.
Life After Death.
Rapid fire. Believe it.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. Something. Yeah, there's something. Yeah.
Okay, I got something I'm taking not umbrage with, but I want to circle back to.
Okay.
Yes to Mothman.
I know.
Yes to Skunk Ape. No to Bigfoot.
I think Bigfoot feels like a man-made, kind of creation, propaganda.
Okay.
It feels like something that was a publicity stunt.
Okay, fair enough. I can see how you get there.
I'm open to believing that some of these things, like there's a weird creature somewhere. I want to believe, which is why I'm saying yes to a bunch of them. But some of these more popular ones, it feels like it's based in marketing more than actual sightings.
There's a lot of marketing, especially when we get to the 1950s and the term Bigfoot is coined. Up till then, a lot of these stories were kind of like passed around in the Pacific Northwest, especially in British Columbia, and not really marketed. So I feel like maybe the Sasquatch stuff is kind of like the Mothman stuff, but then it just, once we get to Bigfoot, it really takes on a life of its own, and it's hard to discern the bullshit from the gold. I don't know.
I'm thinking of the modern Bigfoot. Yes.
Well, and that's what I said.
1700s Bigfoot. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. 1700s Sasquatch.
Believe it.
There you go.
We drove him out. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, just in any of these things, not necessarily on this list, but any of the stories that you told, are they finding their way into Haunted Hotel as you make the show?
Not exactly. I think usually we're chasing what's a fun game to play with something horror that hasn't been done before. So it's usually not as rooted in personal experiences, because I feel like that's something you would do more on, like, Supernatural or something, like take something that someone experienced and dramatize it. And our thing is more, this is not a spoiler, I just think it was fun that, like, one of our characters, Nathan, is a ghost. He's one of our leads, Will Forte. And so in the slasher episode, it felt like a fun opportunity, because I couldn't think of a horror movie that's done this, for him, a ghost, to tag along with the slasher to keep tabs on him, because normally that guy like rounds a corner and disappears, and it's too dangerous to follow him because he'll kill you. But we've got a ghost who can like walk along. Not only that, he's a friendly guy who's like, so what's your deal, man? Like, why are you trying to kill everyone? Like, are you lonely? Do you need a friend? So that's we're looking for games like that like, this is great. Horror, but it's something that horror doesn't normally do. Yeah.
So fun. I love it. All right, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, it's time for this week's Story of High Strangeness with Matt Roller. Roller. All right, we're back. Matt Roller's here, and I sort of not front loaded. I back ended this with a lot of material because I didn't know you were going to come so loaded. So we're going to ask you to stay just a little bit longer.
All good.
But I did have a little bit of a preview into what your hotel story was. So I thought, Let's see if I can find something that ties into those shadow entities that you experienced. And I think I found something. And we've never done it on the show before.
Oh, boy.
Great.
As I was lying... Stop giggling, everybody.
Sorry.
It's serious time.
It's serious.
Okay.
Serious, scary
faces.
time.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're serious.
As I was lying there with the covers pulled up to my face, nodding off, my eyes would open and fall over and over again. And then at some point, something I heard on TV made a noise and caused me to wake up and open my eyes a little wider. Only this time I saw something out of the corner of my eye. I had always had a fear about intruders and what I would do if someone ever broke into our home. For a brief moment, I thought that the movement I was seeing might be my grandmother getting up to go to the bathroom. But as I moved my eyes more into focus, looking down through my great-grandmother's room into the hallway, I very quickly realized it was not my grandmother. What I saw gripped me immediately with fear and dread. I saw a tall, human-like figure, and the figure looked like that of a man. The man had no distinguishable features whatsoever. I could see no eyes, no nose or mouth, only blackness. He looked like a shadow, only darker, much darker. He had a very wide-brimmed hat and a long trench coat that flowed as he moved. This terrifying encounter was posted by Timothy M. Brown Jr. on a website he's devoted to tracking and collecting stories about a mysterious figure that many people claim to have seen lurking around their homes at night. Matt's nodding his head. This figure is composed completely of shadow, described as darker than dark, and is notable for the accessory he often doffs, the jaunty accent that gives this entity his name. Club Scouts of all timelines, join us as we explore the dark corners of your bedrooms, as we peer into the void of the Hatman.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, you know about the Hatman.
I know the Hatman.
He makes a brief cameo in the first episode of Haunted.
He does.
Maybe more, but I was very excited. Very synchronicitous.
He's a background guy. We have hotel continuity because they're all bound there, so we have all these ghosts who just pop up in the background throughout a bunch of episodes.
I love this. So the Hatman is a shadow entity seen at night when you are trying to fall asleep or have just woken up. Categorized by some as a common sleep paralysis demon, the Hatman is a walking silhouette that seems to appear and disappear at will, leaving his victims terrified in their beds. You may see him pass your open bedroom door, or lurking in the corner by your desk, or emerging from the void of your closet. You'll know him by the large, wide-brimmed hat that he wears. But just who or what is the Hatman, and what does he want? Matt, do you have any takes on the Hatman? What's the Hatman's game? Yeah, the Hatman.
I love his name, and my personal connection to the Hatman, because I'd always heard, if you take a lot of Benadryl or something like that, that can be a thing that brings on the Hatman. And when our dog, who has since passed, and it's fine, had cancer, she was on a bunch of Benadryl. Just like that was part of the treatment. Just load her up with like a unreasonable amount of Benadryl each night. We would say, looks like Macy's getting a visit from the Hatman. Just great. Seeing him every night.
Very good guy.
No, I don't have an opinion about him. I really like him. I haven't seen him. I like
good.
the idea of a ghost maintaining like an accessory.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, me too. It's like, I've got a hat. That's all I need. That's how you recognize me.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about the trench coat, really.
The trench coat comes up more than you think in a couple of these stories. So, according to Reddit user Satanic Panic 6, when I was 4 or 5 years old, one of my earliest memories actually, I woke up on the floor of my grandma's living room next to my sleeping mom. From where I was laying, I could see the front door, which had a window at its very top. The window was at 8 feet. Like I said, at the top of the door, I could see a shadowy figure of a man in a fedora looking at me. I pulled the covers over my head, scared out of my wits. I'm 43 now, and it's still one of my most vivid memories. Spooky tales of normal, everyday people having encounters with shadowy beings began circulating online back in the early 2000s. Timothy M. Brown Jr.'s website, The Hatman Project, is just one of many places where stories of the Hatman are shared. The Hatman began to emerge from the public consciousness on the late night radio show Coast to Coast AM, as stories about shadow people became a popular topic on the program. In October of 2001, Art Bell hosted a guest named Holly Hollis who described shadow people as dark silhouettes that take human form and are often seen flickering in and out of our plane of reality, out of the corner of your eye. Now, according to her, the shadow beings had been known to jump on people's chests and choke them. She believed that they were alien beings composed of a negative energy, and kind of like that little golem guy that you saw, and could be repelled by invoking the name of Jesus. Shadow entities, including the Hatman, seem to cross cultural boundaries, as noted by another Reddit user, Coranthus59, on the Hatman subreddit. I was raised on a Native American reservation in the 1950s. The Hatman has been a part of our culture for centuries. He is a taboo subject, other than to warn our young not to have any willing dealings with him. We would also warn our young not to talk to him, for discussion of him is an invitation to him. Sorry, y'all.
Great, thanks.
What the-
To our
that's-
understanding.
That,
In the hat in the night. Everybody pop your
dealings
Benadryl.
part.
Here we go.
Huh?
I like the dealings part. That there's a level
Dealings.
you can have
He has
dealings with him.
Yes, yes. To our understanding, this entity is altogether evil. He can start out benign, seeming to some, but once he has you fascinated and enthralled, he turns on you. And this sounds like somebody who had a very bad divorce, doesn't it? Like, just had a really, like, he took me in with his dealings. It's very difficult to get rid of him once he has his grip on you. He always brings disease, shattered relationships, madness, and death.
Yikes.
Now, this idea of a negative being appearing in your bedroom at night is nothing new. This is a story that is old as humanity. Now, I was surprised by this. Do either of you know the etymology of the term nightmare?
No.
This is fascinating. So the word nightmare comes from, it entered into our lexicon around 1300. And it literally means an evil female spirit afflicting men or horses in their sleep with the feeling of suffocation. So it's compounded from the words night and mare, and in this case, a mare is a goblin that causes nightmares, or an incubus. So the meaning shifted mid-16th century from the incubus to the suffocating sensation it causes. So sense of any bad dream is recorded by 1829, that of a very distressing experience. So it seems in its original use, it was applied less to strange or bad dreams, but used to describe what we call sleep paralysis today. And the term was codified by Samuel Johnson's A Dictionary of the English Language, which was published in 1755. And it literally means night goblin, a demon that comes into your bedroom at night and sits on your chest. Cool. Most of our listeners will be very familiar with this concept in the form of the incubus. And here, I should warn, we are going to tread very lightly, very briefly into the realm of SA. So an incubus is a male demon that sits on your chest while you sleep and sucks the breath out of your lungs, or sexually assaults the sleeper. Merlin of Arthurian legend was said to be the product of a human woman and an incubus who slipped into her bed one night. The female version of this creature is known as a succubus and basically plays by the same rules. The succubus is the evil female spirit or mare that inspired the term nightmare. In Scandinavian folklore, a mare is a quote-unquote damned woman who is cursed and her body is carried mysteriously during sleep without her noticing. In this state, she visits villagers to sit on their rib cages while they are asleep, causing them to experience nightmares or sleep paralysis. So this is very fun, Matt, because you used this word with us before we recorded. The mare or succubus is also sometimes called the old hag. You may have heard of the old hag syndrome, which is another way of describing sleep paralysis. And when we describe someone as looking haggard, that expression is a reference to the old hag, meaning it means you didn't get a good night's sleep because the old hag was riding you all night. So that's why you look haggard. You got hagged.
It's not 3 kids.
Yeah.
It's a hag.
It's an old hag. And they say like she rides, like she literally gets on top of the covers and just rides you and you cannot sleep all night long. So it's got this weird sexual underbase. They also said that part of this may have come from nocturnal emission, wet dreams of them being like, what the fuck? What happened here? It must have been an old hag, you know?
Yeah.
So stories of incubi and succubi can be traced back to 2400 BC. They are alluded to in the epic poem Gilgamesh, where the hero Gilgamesh's father is listed as Lilu. Lilu is described as disturbing and seducing women in their sleep, while Lilutu, a female demon, is described as appearing to men in erotic dreams. The 7th century Greek physician Pallas Ageneta thought that the nature god Pan was responsible for sleep paralysis, climbing onto sleepers' chests at night. Eastern Chinese folklore features stories of mice crawling onto your chest at night and stealing the sleeper's breath, allowing them to shapeshift into human form for a temporary amount of time. It's the mice that are doing it.
I like that one.
So sleep paralysis demons, the category of which the Hatman falls under, have been with us for a very, very long time. Today, however, science explains that these entities are hallucinations. At least this is the scientific belief. According to The Telegraph in London, sleep paralysis demons are nightmarish hallucinations that often accompany episodes of sleep paralysis. This occurs when the temporary paralysis, which is a normal feature of REM, the stage of sleep called rapid eye movement, where dreaming takes place, continues for a few seconds or minutes after waking. As the line between sleep and wakefulness is blurred during REM sleep, sufferers see, hear, or feel things that are not really there. So one study reported that out of 185 patients diagnosed with sleep paralysis, more than half sensed a presence in the room, usually something non-human, and 22% actually saw a person in the room, usually a stranger, this intruder, who oftentimes comes as the Hatman. Another little side thing. Yeah.
This excuse feels like something that someone who's made a deal with the Hatman would say.
That is right. These are the dealings of the Hatman.
Yeah, these are the dealings.
I also didn't realize this, but you may have known that hypnagogic hallucinations occur while falling asleep, and hypnopompic hallucinations occur when waking up. So there's like a difference there. So incubus hallucinations, which often tend to co-occur with intruder hallucinations, the Hatman, are marked by sensations of pressure on the chest, along with the feelings of suffocation or choking. Now, I'm going to pull out of this scientific research here for a second and say, what's interesting to me about this is I feel like, Matt, what you saw while you were wide awake, now that you've told this story, was an incubus and a Hatman. That you had the little demon thing there that was very malevolent, and then you had the figure there that was the intruder, which is the visitor, which is very strange because they can concur during hallucinations as well, which makes you think, are they hallucinations?
Right. They double booked the room.
They double booked.
They each thought they were going to haunt just one guy, and
yeah,
there's too many apps now for these rooms for these.
It's so hard for them to track. Yeah, I got it when you were talking about the Hatman too. I was thinking in his case, because I had an awareness of him, before I saw this thing. Which you're right, Hatman feels like an option. Feels kind of Tulpa-ish,
Yeah.
Like when did the Hatman start? And like, it feels like there is kind of a wide, jokey awareness of him. And are we giving him power?
Exactly. This sort of thought form or egregore that we have, the public have helped create, or something that's old that is now shape shifting into a thing that we all have a common agreement on. Like, much like I think alien greys are kind of that, like, before we all decided on alien greys, aliens looked like a bunch of different things. And now everyone's like, this is what they look like because this is how they show up. Here's another story, quick one from out of there. The only thing I can describe is that around the same age, I say maybe 5 or 6, I don't know, was with my brother who's 4 years older. We've seen a person with a black trench coat and a black hat that you mentioned. It was flying around in circles. You can even see the trench coat flap as it was gliding through the wind, so this is outdoors. I guess they're called flying humanoids or something, but this one looked like a person. Just don't know what that small object they were sitting on. So this is someone who's like talking about, I've seen something. This is sort of like a Hatman and a witch. It's flying in the air.
I don't think the Hatman can fly. I got a real bump there.
You're going to pull the Hatman back down to ground. Okay.
You saw something else. I believe you saw something.
Fair enough.
It wasn't the Hatman.
Yeah, they said it wasn't a balloon or a kite. It was actually a person. As a kid, we thought it was a witch, but I don't know what to call it. I'm sure it wasn't a witch when I was sure it was a witch when we were kids. Yeah. So maybe a witch. I mean, witches wear hats. At least
you're pulling these from the Hatman Reddit.
Some of these are from the Hatman subreddit, which is massive. And again, I turn to these because this is really where the Hatman lore really lives, is online and people sharing these stories. According to scientists, things that can cause sleep paralysis are stress and anxiety, sleep deprivation, family history, PTSD, alcohol consumption, narcolepsy. These are all ways that you might see the Hatman. Now, one of the more popular ways, Matt, which you already mentioned, is you take a ton of Benadryl before bed. According to a 2022 Rolling Stone article on the popularity of Hatman on social media, on 4chan and elsewhere, the Hatman is often referenced as a hallucination brought on by the abuse of diphenhydramine, or DHP, the active ingredient in the over-the-counter allergy medication Benadryl. Forums like Reddit's I Love HP, where users post trip reports after taking dangerous amounts of the drug, the Hatman is at once an inside joke and a mascot, with people saying, I'm going to attempt to see the Hatman and fuck him. But any mind-altering substance taken to excess is thought to grant access to the Hatman, even caffeine. Now, this might certainly be a good way to summon the Hatman. Don't recommend it before bedtime. But what if, gentlemen, you don't want to see a shadow person in your room at night? Well, here are some colloquial ways to protect yourself against a mare. And the first one directly contradicts the Rolling Stone article. Drinking coffee before sleeping. Taking a mare's hat, so you take the hat off of the mare and he goes away. Throwing a piece of a noose at the demon. Sleeping with a leather wedding belt or a scythe.
How are you going to explain this bed to someone when they come over?
Yeah. Okay, so I got a leather belt. I got a wedding belt. Don't ask me where I got that. And there's a scythe here. Just be careful. That's in case the Hatman comes.
It is sharp.
Here's one. We've got these elaborate ones, and here's another one. Changing one's sleeping position.
You can either have a noose or you can sleep differently.
Or just roll over. Smearing feces on the front door. You can do that. That's going to keep the Hatman away.
This date is not going well.
No. And then finally, leaving a bundle of hay in one's bed and going to sleep in another room will keep the Hatman away.
Oh, it tricks them. Yeah. They'll sit on the hay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of theories of what. Yeah.
The cure is worse than the disease.
Yeah, you know, I'm good with that.
I'll take the Hatman, thank you. Like, where's the feces coming from? What are we doing here? So there's a lot of theories of what the Hatman might be if the Hatman is real. We've got demons, ghosts, interdimensional beings. I've always liked that one, that they're people thinly veiled from, the other side. Vampires or parasites that feed off of negative emotions. And I've also heard on this show, actually, ancestors or helpers from the other side that are akin to guardian angels. Now, I would say that's a little spooky. I'd rather see like a cool angel than a man in a hat. But I would be remiss to point out the obvious similarities between the Hatman and the Men in Black. Maybe there's some type of extraterrestrial connection. Whatever the Hatman is, real hallucinatory, I think he's been with us for a very long time and will continue to be with us as long as humans turn off the lights at night. Before we close the book on the Hatman, Matt, I want to share one more high strangeness encounter that I read online. And this is like very fun high strangeness. And this is from Reddit blogger, a Reddit user, Baboogs. This happened around 2023.
A reliable source.
Yep.
If there ever was
Baboogs.
one.
This happened in 2023.
The stage
2003, give or take a year. I was probably a freshman in high school, so maybe 14 or 15 years old. That makes it about 22 years ago, and I've never forgotten it. I woke up in the middle of the night to see a figure standing in my room, not under, but next to my closet door. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I now realize it fits the description of a Hatman. Tall, dark presence, wearing a wide-brimmed hat. But this encounter had one very strange detail that I've never seen anyone else describe. It was holding boxes. They looked like board game boxes, flat, rectangular, maybe 8 to 10 of them, stacked up and held like a pizza delivery. I couldn't see his hands, but the way his arms were positioned made it clear that he was carrying them. I could still see his tall, dark structure and the outline of his hat, but his face and eyes were completely hidden behind the stack of boxes. He didn't speak to me with words, but I could feel what he was asking. He wanted me to open my bedroom door, the one that led out into the hallway. That's it. Just open the door. His energy didn't feel evil or threatening, just like someone quietly asking for help because their hands are full. Sounds a little bit like dealings. As I got out of bed, I turned my back to him and then opened the door. I waited maybe 5 seconds. I didn't see him leave, but an energy shift happened, and I felt like it was time to shut the door, as if he walked out of my room. And that, everyone, is the Hatman.
See,
Awesome.
you don't need to. You don't need to smear feces on the door. You just
do a dealing.
Yeah,
I just like
Could you get that?
the boxes thing, like
The
that
boxes
to me
are great.
Yeah.
That's wild, because then I'm like, is this like a time loop overlap? Are they seeing a shadow of somebody from the past who can't? I don't know. This is just that's a really strange one and very, very fun.
Very cool.
Maybe you need a scene in season 2 of Haunted Hotel where the Hatman's getting out all the board games, to play one night. There you go.
Or a time loop. I like that idea too, that someone's like in a loop of their death. That's a...
Yeah. And I
that's
think
been
that
done.
sometimes with the ghost stuff too, there's overlapping. Maybe you're seeing someone from the future or the past and they're seeing you in your time period and you both think you're seeing a ghost, you know?
Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
I don't
The
know.
others.
What do you guys think? Where do you all come down on the Hatman now?
Pro.
I like him. Yeah. I'm starting to, the more we were talking about him, I have a working theory of interdimensional pervert. That there's other things there, and none of them think to bother us. He's the guy. He's got his cool hat that no one else has. No one thinks it works.
He's put on his trench coat, his hat, because he's sneaking out of the house to go to this dimension. Every
Like,
dimension's got a pervert, and
Just a
the
little
Hat
peek,
Man
just
is
a
that dimension's pervert.
He's dressed like a loser.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. No, it's
So-
great. I do like interdimensional pervert. I think that's a good place to land. Absolutely. And
Sounds good.
seems like it has been throughout history. Matt Roller, thank you so much for being here, man. Remind
you.
everybody when we can start watching Haunted Hotel over and over again.
September 19th. It's a Friday. If you're listening after this, you can just watch it over and over again. And hey, if you like any Netflix thing, this goes across the board. I didn't know this. Netflix told me. They really care about the double thumbs up rating.
Yes. Okay.
I didn't even notice that they still rated stuff. I know they used to, but like the single thumbs up, no, that's actually bad. That's almost worse than not rating at all. If you like something, including this show, but I'm also just saying any show you like, give it a double thumbs up. They apparently care a lot. So
Wow.
yeah.
Isn't that so funny that all this technology streaming, it all just comes down to
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. But
Well,
check it
everybody
out.
go watch it and double thumbs up it.
Absolutely. I'll
Let's
be
get
giving
those
it.
metrics up.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Look, it's honestly, I'm not just saying this because you came on the show and you're a delightful human being. It's a really funny show. And I really, really think that our listeners, it's a show tailor-made for the BCC crowd. So like, absolutely go watch. It's really fun. And this, people who come here, they come to this podcast because they want to tap into this stuff, but also have fun while doing it and maybe have a laugh. So absolutely watch Haunted Hotel.
Yeah.
It's so fun. And also just really, just as a nerd, it's like exciting to see like these characters and entities like illustrated. You know what I mean? It's just fun to see them on screen. So it's a great show. Everyone go check it out. Matt, can we follow you on Instagram? Any of those things? Anywhere else we can keep up to date with what you're working on?
Yeah, I'm trying to extricate myself from social media.
Fair enough.
Yeah, awesome. I'm on Twitter X as Roll Diggity, but
Okay, great.
I'll probably post about the show once it starts.
Okay.
But just watch the show. Honestly,
Just watch the show.
Don't follow me. Just watch the show.
Fair enough. Well, we appreciate it.
Peer in through the window and then just slowly
I don't
recede
want
and
to.
rotate
I don't want to
away.
be known. I don't want to be perceived.
Fair.
Great.
Matt, thank you so much. Congratulations. I can't even get back into frame now. Congratulations on the show, and thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
I mean, great stories. Come on.
Great stories, great dude.
Great stories, great dude. What else do you want in the clubhouse? That's all we're here for. Great show. Hey man,
I can't wait to see it.
We're swinging by Collector's Corner. That's my plug. Go watch it. And listen, if I didn't like the show, I wouldn't be saying this right now. We already plugged it enough, but I like the show.
He's gone now.
He's gone. He's probably not going to listen to this anyway. It's a good show. Do the double thumbs up. That's a really good thing to know.
Yeah.
I want more shows like this on TV. And you know what? Oh, that's in a future episode. Never mind. But we forgot to. We were recording a little out of order, but we forgot to say something to a reader. Never mind. Anyway, a listener. I just want to say, in the future, this will make sense. I've not seen Resident Alien, but I want to, and now I'm sad that it's getting canceled. So this will make sense next week.
Right. This is a time loop kind of situation.
Time loop. I can't believe it. I know. I've never seen it. Anyway, but don't worry about Resident Alien. Go watch Haunted Hotel. Right?
Yeah. Watch it so they get another season.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Anything else you want to plug or shout out or say, Riley?
No, not really. I mean, I love seeing like good people making good work and having success at it. And it's just like, it makes me happy. These little things in the world, when you see someone make something like really funny with like lots of layers and lots of care and everyone works really hard and it's actually good.
Yeah.
It's like a small miracle, and then you meet the people and they're like, oh, these are great people making
I'm glad this is happening to a nice person.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's all. Just it's nice to have nice things sometimes from nice people.
We need them.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Reminder, you can always find more of us over at BCC Clubhouse on bcc.supercast.com. 3 bonus episodes every month on BCC The Other Side. You can get ad-free episodes, and you can get cosmic tracks from the one and only... It was a tough one. It was a good one, but it was a tough one.
It was a mouthful.
It was a mouthful, but the transcendent, virtuoso, Pleiadian, of course.
Wow. Such high regard you all place.
I know you
upon
really
me.
get they're kind of like big ego boosts.
Seriously.
But if you don't see us over there, then we will see you back here next week for an all new episode of BCC. Until then, good night.
And go get regressed.
Swing by the merch shop on your way out. Go get that old school t-shirt.
Go get it.
Go get it.
Go get it. All right, here we go.
What if a third hand came in the frame? Oh yeah. Bigfoot Collectors Club is executive produced by Riley Bray and Michael McMillian, and engineered and edited by Riley Bray. Our theme song is Come Alone by Suneaters, courtesy of Lotuspool Records. For ad-free listening and bonus episodes every month, join BCC Clubhouse on bcc.supercast.com. Want to see us? Watch video episodes and exclusive content on youtube.com/@BigfootCollectorsClub.